Good morning. My name is Chris Jones. I'm with the University of Arizona, Gila County Cooperative Extension, and I'm here to present our Garden and Country Extension webinar series for today. Our topic is Nalwoodi Denzhone Community Webinar. We grow, we harvest, we share. And today we've got the Nalwoodi Denzhone Community Leadership Team with us. So welcome and thanks for joining us. A little bit about the University of Arizona, Gila County Cooperative Extension, Garden and Country Extension webinars. I provide these webinars on a weekly basis. They're 60 minutes or less, Thursdays at 11 a.m. in Arizona. They feature a variety of horticultural and natural resource topics relevant to the environmental conditions and residential concerns of Gila County, Arizona, and certainly of any other interest or location that there is interest. The recordings of these webinars are posted at the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension YouTube channel. So if you go there, you'll be able to find this hopefully next week and be able to follow this up and be able to share it. And I need to let you know that University of Arizona is an equal opportunity affirmative action institution. And with that, I'm going to do a quick poll for us here. It's our affirmative action poll. Just going to need to ask a few anonymous questions. Just want to know your ages, gender and ethnic group. This information we need to report back to our people. And so really appreciate that. I'll leave that up for just a minute or two here and while we're getting started. And again, that's all anonymous. So here's our agenda for today. Thank you for everybody who was able to join us early for our login and lag time. It is 11 o'clock. My name is Chris Jones, your moderator. Welcome. Our topic today is the Nalwoodi Denzhone Community. We grow, we share, harvest, we share, with Juan Arias, who's the FERTEP or extension agent for the San Carlos Indian Reservation. Eric Shin, I believe, is the program manager, and Carrie Curley is, I believe, vice president of their board. And they'll confirm that in just a moment here because I'm going to hand it over to Juan in just a second. They have about a half-hour presentation for us. We will have a chat box discussion with Juan and Eric and Carrie and after the presentation, and we will finish up at noon. And so with that, I'm going to close the poll. And Juan, you are up to go. Unmute.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Arias. I'm the federally recognized tribal extension agent in San Carlos Apache tribe. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the programs that I've been partnering with NDC and how the programs that I've been providing throughout San Carlos Apache tribe have kind of expanded through the partnerships in San Carlos and partnership with NDC and Nalwoodi Denzhone. As a FERTEP agent, we're able to provide resources in the community that includes 4-H and youth development by identifying some of the needs in the community. This includes STEM education, youth education, archery, gardening activities. And as you can see, some of these pictures that we have here in the presentation, some of these pictures are at NDC site because of their access and the availability of them to provide the space. We've been able to expand youth development programming and then been able to highlight a lot of these resources because of the partnership. In addition to other programs that provide as in extension, we provide programs that deliver the community that include sessions at school sites, delivering sessions and topics of plant needs, steps to successful gardening, seed saving, food preservation, using curricula to educate the youth throughout the whole community. And also, like I mentioned earlier, some of these pictures are at NDC site. Because of their partnership, we've been able to grow and expand and highlight a lot of these programs. And they'll tell you more about that as they tell you the story. As a FERTEP agent, I've been able to reach a lot of the community members in a lot of activities that include land days, agriculture tours, youth tours, and partnering with forestry and NDC to educate the youth and topics that include livestock, planting, agriculture, water preservation, composting, and also right here, as you see in this presentation, this tour was done at NDC in the last 2 years, where we were able to bring about 120 kids to introduce them to agriculture in terms of planting saving seeds, learning about plants, archery, youth development, STEM. In addition to what we offer in U of A Cooperative Extension, we reach all the youth, which includes early childhood from 0 to 5. This includes just even doing activities at their childcare centers. It includes reaching the youth, bringing the families to learn about what can be grown in the community. And these are some of the pictures of events we do throughout the community. As an extension engine, I also provide resources and livestock natural resources, which includes livestock equine, introducing the ranchers and farmers and what resources are available for them to use in the community. And these are some of the pictures that we have used to provide services in the community. And we want to bring these services to the youth, and hopefully with partnership with NDC, we will be able to expand livestock program for the youth to learn about goat, cattle, horse, and hopefully we provide an opportunity for them to expand. As you can see, some of the pictures that we have here, partnership with NDC and other entities in the community, we've been able to produce native crops, which includes Apache giant, Apache sugarcane seeds, and also produce activities that include seed saving. And these are some of the pictures that we have been able to capture throughout the activities. As you can see, there are carriers there. I think this was one of the farmers market that they were able to provide in the community. I think was one of the first ones that they were able to establish and kind of initiate that, that project. Continuing ag and natural resource activities. Here's a picture of one of our plots where we were able to save 15 pounds of sugarcane seeds, partnership with forestry and NDC. A lot of the seeds that we save are provided throughout the community to preserve and introduce native crops in the community. And this plot, this right here is at NDC. They were able to allow us to use this plot to kind of plant sugarcane, zucchini, and some beans, and also have the ability to save all these seeds to share throughout the community. And these are pictures from last year. In addition to what we planted that includes native crops, this year we are testing 3 sister planting methods to help understand, record the planting activities, what worked and what does not work. All the seeds for this plot at NDC were provided from nativeseeds.org. They're trying to bring back some native crops in the community, and one of the native crops we were able to plant this year includes Apache red corn. Apache red corn hasn't been grown here in the community for a long time, so we were able to receive those seeds in exchange for us to save seeds and also kind of spread the seed throughout the community. As you can see here, these are some of the current pictures of the left hand and the top right. Those are the Apache red corn that are growing. The picture at the bottom, that's what the corn cob should look like once we harvest and save some of the seeds. So we're hoping that we'll be able to save some of the Apache red corn, or reproduce some of these seeds and also share with the community. In addition to native crops, the most famous crop and squash that the NDC has been kind of expanding and sharing throughout the community includes Apache giant. So these are current pictures on the left-hand side and the top right, where this is growing right now, and hopefully we'll be able to produce a lot more Apache giant that includes planting squash, that we're able to save a lot of seeds that includes 300 seeds per squash, and also just shared throughout the community. In addition to what we planted this year, we were able to plant Apache brown striped sunflower seed. These are current pictures of the sunflower that we have at NDC right now. The seeds were also provided from native seed for us to grow and preserve and record the success of the sunflower in our area. The sunflower can grow up to 6 to 8 feet tall, and we are hoping to record, take pictures, and save seeds to continue the introduction of this plant. As you can see, I don't have a picture of the Apache brown sunflower because it's not out there. This is the first time that we're planting here in San Carlos, and we're hoping that we are able to record some pictures and also share with the community. In addition to that, we were able to plant Apache gourd at NDC site, continuing the native crop preservation. We planted the Apache gourd at NDC to save seeds, record the progress also, and also in exchange for us to save seed and give back to native seed, and also give back to the community. So these are some of the current pictures that we have on the left-hand side and the top right. And at the bottom right, that's how the Apache gourd should look if we were able to save some of these gourds and also provide it to the community. In addition to other crops in what NDC has been planting includes peppers, watermelon, tepary beans, cantaloupe, Apache sugarcane, radish. There's many crops that Apache NDC, the NDC is trying to plant throughout the community. And they'll tell you their story, they'll tell you the success, how they kind of expanded and have grown this activity throughout the community. So NDC is going to tell you their story.
Eric, would you please introduce you and Carrie and then get started, please?
Sure. Yeah, I was just unmuting myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Shin. I'm the project manager and operations manager here at NDC. And here, this is Carrie. Introduce yourself.
Dagodeshi Carrie Sage Curly Gonze, she kaitet Eden Shimase, Curly Gonze, Peridot Yugonchli. Good morning, everyone. I'm Carrie Curley. I'm also the vice president of Nalwoodi Denzhone, which means strength and beauty in Apache.
So we're going to go through kind of like what we've been doing over the past few years and how we've impacted the community and talk about some of the programs we've had, specifically in this year, 2021. Juan, you got the slide? Thank you. So our mission, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We provide revitalization services to the San Carlos Apache children and families through creative and life-transforming projects at the Dripping Springs property, Old Tree Farm on the San Carlos Apache Reservation. Most people around here, they would know it as the Old Tree Farm. It was a tree farm back in the 90s where they grew pine trees and like Christmas trees, pretty much. But now we're using it for various projects, mainly agriculture is one of our primary focuses. That's where Juan and U of A come in. They've been really instrumental in our growth, and they provide expertise in just kind of teaching and showing us how to do it, and also the community as well, because having community involvement is part of our mission and part of the transformation. Here's just a few statistics on the reservation, just to show the need out here. We have about 67% unemployment rate. 4 out of 10 students do not finish high school. 46% of the tribe is living at the poverty rate. 67% of bookings are centered around public intoxication and underage consumption. Gila County has the second highest teen alcohol abuse rate in Arizona, and there's also 38% recidivism rate among youth, which means about 1/3 of the youth become repeat offenders in the same year. Here's pretty much our philosophy on how we approach transformation and approach our mission. In the center there, you see true strength and true beauty. As Carrie mentioned, Nalwoodi Denzhone means strength and beauty. And that's what we're trying to grow and bring out of people and in the community. We believe there's 4 parts to that, 4 parts to a person: mind, body, soul, spirit. And each area, in order to provide true strength and true beauty and transformation, we need to address each one of these in the work that we do. So as we try to fulfill our mission, we have various approaches to it. One of them being a holistic approach, creating an Apache way of transformation that involves mind, body, soul, spirit. So addressing the whole person. Rehabilitation or transformation, creating new ways to rehabilitate and transition people that's full of life, inspiration, and achievement. Also community, creating a self-sustainable means of provision and a reimagined way of living for the San Carlos people. I think you gotta tap it one more time. There should be some words there. There we go. Creativity and connectedness, that is one of our kind of guiding principles and kind of what got us to where we are today. And in all that we do, we believe in these two things very strongly, creativity and connectedness. We can't do the work we do without real inspiration and creating new ways. And a lot of those new ways come with working with other groups, working with individuals, working with the community in new ways that really bring life to people. So this picture is a great example of this day was the schoolhouse, volunteers from Phoenix, Local First Arizona. We have kids involved. We have tribal community members all working together towards the same goal. So it's really a picture of who we are and what we stand for. Next slide, please. So the first, go back one. One more. So the first program we're going to talk about today is our COVID relief and food distribution. This was something that became a priority early during the pandemic. There was a need for food to be delivered to people that really need it. Transportation was difficult. Going out and getting groceries was difficult. So, Bryce and Tara, Bryce is the president of NDC and his wife, Tara, they both, just had this idea to get the food where it needs to go. And, as an organization, we all really jumped on that and got behind it. Next slide. So here in the middle picture, you see Tara, who's Bryce's wife, and my wife, Christine. That's how we started with our food distribution. It's literally one shelf with just a few items that were donated from people. And the picture on the right, you see how it grew. We started getting more organized, more donations, getting food boxes, and I believe those went out in just back of our trucks. And then the picture on our left, we see Tara, who now we have shelves and lots of food being donated, and we got the connections we made with larger organizations that wanted to distribute or supply us with boxes of food. So our building here, which is not big, became pretty much wall-to-wall boxes of food, where we mobilized and got volunteers, packed them up into various boxes, and started delivering into the community. And here's some of the pictures from those efforts. The top left, that was at the Mormon Church in Globe. They had truckloads of flour, macaroni, sugar, canned foods, and they were trying to get it to the people that needed it. And we were fortunate enough to be able to receive this. On the top right picture, you see a lot of our friends and family at Bryce's home, where he just opened up his home, and we had truckloads of produce that were going bad at grocery stores that got delivered to us. So I believe we received like 2 tons that day, and we had to separate it, box it, and literally the next day we were set up in the heart of downtown San Carlos. Just put the word out, and cars would drive up and we would hand them, several boxes at a time. The bottom left, that was the blue bags. Those were kids' bags that were put together through the schoolhouse. And that was, educational items for kids who, schools were closed down and they had really nothing to do at home. So fun activities, educational activities that were put together through some of the groups that we collaborate with. And then, on the bottom right, another picture of us, and that's creating connections internally with the tribe. That was with Turk. We also work with social services. We work with, what are some other groups? Wellness Center, and various other groups that help us identify needy families and helped us distribute. So it was a group effort, with the tribe. And of course, Juan was there in a lot of these efforts as well. And these are the pictures of getting the food to the people that need it the most. So the kids, you see them with the kids' bags. Some of our Apache Giant, you know, we're giving that out, and the elders and community members really got excited for the Apache Giant squash, something that they've, you know, a lot of them haven't seen in a while. And so to introduce that back into the community was really amazing to see people's reactions. And of course, you know, the food and, you know, the educational activities, we're able to give it out to the kids. Really a great in the time of need. So I'll talk a little bit more about the market garden, and Carrie will help me out here. Juan was, you know, is a huge part of this garden. A lot of the pictures he showed, he talked about it in a lot of detail on what we're growing. We'll probably talk about it a little more high level and how we got it to where it is today with Juan's help. This quote, I won't read it, but it really defines kind of why the garden is needed and why we pursue that as part of our main focuses. You know, to restore the earth and to restore people in the process. So next slide, please. And here I'll hand it off to Carrie to talk through some of our early days in the garden.
And, right here in the pictures, we have on the top left, we have an elder in the community. His name's Jerry Thomas. He's a Diné elder here, and I've known him for quite some years. And this is before we even had a tractor on site. We were doing everything by hand and wheelbarrow. You know, Juan was there. You know, him and I just, gosh, wheelbarrow is our friend, literally. But you know, you guys all know, some of you who do gardening work, it is a lot on your back. So I got in contact with Jerry and, you know, told him that, hey, would you be able to come out and plow our garden for us? Juan and his team actually expanded it and made it a 1 acre now. It's officially a 1 acre plot. As you guys can see to the right, he started going in, and it can be overwhelming, right? All that mustard seed was waist high to me. And just having Jerry right there, you just see the very first trucker in right there. And now to what it is today. I mean, this was probably like 2 years ago when we started using the black netting to keep the weeds. And, you know, you guys see that we're just constantly learning together. Juan, you know, putting our minds together, meeting, constantly trying to figure out what can we do better each year, each planting season. And there it is on the bottom. When we did get done with the mustard seed, as you guys can see from the very beginning to like there, and like Eric said, the old tree farm, there's the Afghanistan pine trees right there that you guys see in the distance. Yeah, this year I'm proud to say, you know, that, yeah, we had a big smile on Juan's face to know that we were like on top of things for planting season. So each year we're getting sharper and sharper as gardeners, and, you know, quicker and quicker. And I've been under Juan's wing for like 5 years. This is my 5th year being under Juan and learning as much as I can from him and the U of A extensions, and just great collaboration with him. And, you know, the heart that he has and that he carries just so much. Things that I don't understand, I go right to him. And still today, you know, I still don't know much, but still learning. And yeah, so I'm grateful for this garden. It has healed me, myself, and the people who come to the community. You guys know we live in San Carlos, like the hard desert. It's pretty rough here. We're in a drought, you know, these last 2 years. So it's pretty amazing that we can have fresh produce here grown in the middle of the desert. So we can do the next slide. There's Juan right there with the fire tool. Yeah, every day, you know, we may want to have a day off, but the weeds, they don't have a day off, right? So there's Juan right there, I believe, with the sugar cane, looks like, right? Or is that corn? Right here to the right is the zucchini, the black bee zucchini. And then we have 2 of our summer interns last summer in 2020 who came out and worked with us. Corey, who was actually taking classes in Utah. And, with the whole COVID shutdown, he was having a really hard time, and we were actually able to house him and work alongside and, provide a little bit of money income for him and his needs during that time. And we have Danny Stevens right there, who's a little bit in the distance, and she went to Pennsylvania, and she came down for the pandemic too, and she reached out to us on Instagram and was like, hey, you guys looking for work? And her and Eric got in contact, and yeah, it's such a beautiful story right there with the both of them. And again, culture. Corey's from Indonesia and Papua, and understanding the jungle and, things that we can relate with the sugarcane or different, produce, and finding out that he wants to do a chicken coop and farm kind of like on, for his people. So him getting first hands with Juan and us here was, probably an experience he'll never forget. And Danny Stevens, she is Apache, but I know you guys know that sometimes it's hard. We had a connection right off the bat because I could have had an opportunity to go away to school, and she did, and I stayed here. So I was more in tune in my culture, and she wanted more questions to understand more about her Apache culture, and we were able to give her that platform. And right here's the black bean zucchini that you guys see in the basket. And to the far right is myself with the Apache giant. As you guys see, it's among us right now as we speak. We just harvested 2 days ago our first zucchini. So yeah, I'm really proud and honored to be a person to know this knowledge of seeds through Juan and the community, especially our traditional food, to actually have a taste palette now for the Apache giant. And understanding that I don't, for myself, I don't care if you're Apache or not. I just want you to have a palate for these traditional crops. We need to bring that back to the community, especially, with our community suffering from diabetes, of high blood pressure, and so on, obesity. So yeah, go ahead on the next slide. All right, here we have to the left, Tina Anderson, who lives in my community, Peridot District, and that's her daughter right there and her granddaughters. They actually heard about us on Facebook and wanted to come down here and pick pumpkins. And, we opened up our gate, and, it's a community garden, and we're really grateful for those who come on our dirt road to visit us. It's awesome to see the produce of our hard work and people finding joy like that, in the produce. And up top right here is myself and Machen. Machen had made that little sign. That's when we went out to the community, and that's right in front of the local Boys and Girls Club and skate park, and we set up right there, and we sold our produce to the community. And that was really awesome, getting the word out for NDC and U of A extensions. I know Juan does raised beds for the Head Starts, the daycare, and yeah, so any way that we can, there's a vine, right? You can go out anywhere in the community. And as of today, we're going to be actually doing a raised bed today with Juan and U of A with the Wellness Center. So that's a huge accomplishment today. And on the bottom is our little setup that Eric had set up for us to do a little outdoor market. And we have our pumpkins from our patch, more giant. And you guys see the different sizes of giant. So the elderly love them when they're like a softball size. That's when they're more tasteful. But the bigger they want, they're very specific on the size that they want. They can use them for the Apache giant pie, which is similar to the pumpkin pie. I haven't seen it done yet, but I definitely want to try that out. Yeah. So, yeah. Go on to the next slide, one.
Sure. So here you see us trying out seed saving for the first time, I believe, at this scale. Juan led the charge on this. We had, I think 8 or 9 Apache giant growing for the saving seeds in the garden. We had to be on everybody, make sure they don't pick it because we want it to grow. So, that was a known thing here. Don't touch those big giants. But yeah, we brought them in. Juan walked us through the process. And so now I believe we planted some of these this year and eventually, share with the community, possibly sell them. But we're learning how to seed save, and we want to continue doing this in the future. Here we have Danny Stevens, as Carrie mentioned. She was one of our summer interns last year. We did a project-based internship. So, our interns, they had to choose something and we would support their idea and help it make it come to fruition. So one of the things we wanted to do, but we're missing was our compost pile. So Danny wanted to take that on. So we helped her get materials. We helped her design it. And she pretty much put up our first composting system. From that, it has grown to, it outgrew that. And we've grown, our compost next to that, the pallet system there. And you see Juan also leading the charge on this, showing us how to compost, what needs to be done, kind of like those day-to-day chores and tasks that we need to be on top of. And helped us with training. And you can see we had, produce that was going bad from food distributions like that Turk had that, it was going bad. So they brought it here and we were able to compost it and recycle that food. One of our other major programs is our egg production. This was one of our first big projects in the past couple of years. We had a few chickens, but we wanted to grow that. And so, we wanted to learn for our own selves, the food production process and sales. And so now we sell eggs to the local market and to individuals. We want to understand our own business practices. And then we also want to make it an educational tool. So we called this coop in particular our chicken mansion. We want kids to be able to walk in and get a hands-on experience, and we're continuing to grow and refine our egg production operations. This was about 1.5 years ago where we started building. This was a great team building effort where we all, volunteers and our board and team members, we all tackled this together. So, it's learning how to work with each other, which is, whenever you work with a group of people, there's always different ideas. But, it was a great team building exercise for us. And now we have, 60 chickens on our farm that produce eggs daily. Next slide, please. And these are our second flock that we ordered. These came in the mail. We didn't know you can order chicks through the mail until we were trying to buy them. So we got 40 in the mail, and they were introduced to the mansion. So that's where they currently live right now. And they're doing great. We have a few issues we always need to iron out, but they're producing eggs, and we're giving them to the community. Here, this is like kind of the educational piece that we're exploring. Juan has his 4-H students and other kids that he brings through, and we help him as part of the educational program. And some of these kids here are from the Schoolhouse Cooperative, which is a local school that we've partnered with, and they bring out their students to learn about chickens, how to raise them, how to collect the eggs, how to clean and wash them, and even how to package and sell the eggs. And on the bottom left, that's from the San Carlos Cafe. They are one of our regular customers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we sell about 6 to 8 flats a week to them. And that turns into breakfast burritos for the community. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see our eggs being shared with people in the community. So this slide is kind of our path on where we want to go. So we really didn't understand what food security was when we kind of started off. But as we grew and as we came across this slide and this graph, it kind of dawned on us like, wow, this is exactly what we're trying to do. The emergency food assistance came from our COVID relief boxes, trying to get food to the people that need it. Education is a huge part of what we do. And then the gardening, the farmers market, and then youth education, and then the mentor promoter relationship. That is all part of who we are here at NDC. So I feel like this is a good visual to help people understand the path that we're on. And even internally, this keeps us focused on what we need to do and where we're going. So part of that mentor, promoter, youth education part of NDC is this piece, and this is where we go out and build raised beds into the community. How we identified this home was through our COVID relief boxes. So as we went out into the community over the past year, we were able to identify some of the homes that we felt were ready to take it the next step to sustainability and to taking care of their families through growing food. So this is a home that we've identified. They had about 7 kids there. Adults were around, but a lot of times it was the kids receiving the food boxes when we were there. So, our heart really went out for them. And this was maybe about 2 months ago. And, we check on them weekly, and their food or their plants are sprouting. And so, the kids have taken a lot of ownership of this little raised bed. And that's what we want to see is them taking ownership, this family, and also inspiring them to continue growing and learning about food and where food comes from. And we hope to keep working with this family and others in the community. And as Carrie mentioned, Wellness Center is part of that project. This is our newly built community patio. We recently did an open mic night, which we've done in the past. But now we want to bring it back and really bring inspiration through art and music. This patio, the vision of that was to do that here. This was a stage. Our farmers markets could be held here, dining events, and other, whatever crazy ideas we have, we can do outdoors in a nice, area like this.
It's also built by a local construction crew, Boykin's Group.
Boykin's Construction, they're an all Apache crew. So, as they were building this, you hear the music playing, you hear them speaking to each other in Apache, having a good time, laughing, joking, but, really putting out beautiful work. As you can see here, this was an add-on to our building. This is the food processing room. So everything we grow in the garden is now going to be cleaned, washed, stored in this room. And recently we were able to get a walk-in refrigerator. So we don't have to turn over the produce and try to get rid of it quickly before it goes bad. We can now store it and, prepare better for farmers markets and things like that. Another focus of ours now, kind of the next step of our garden, is our commercial kitchen, which was installed a few years ago. Now with the help of, Twyla, who's a local harvester and chef and cook using traditional, foods. She's willing to come out here and help cook and teach people. And this is kind of the next step of what NDC can be about. And it's happening already. And so maybe Carrie, you can talk about this piece a little.
Yeah, she had reached out to me, and we're always grateful for Twyla to come into our garden. I know she's taught so much when Juan and I can catch her. she's always a busy lady as well. That's the century plant. She had a roasting here on site, and right there you can see she's getting the fire started with the mesquite here. A lot of the Apaches cook with the mesquite out here, and so the stalks of it were in the fire right there. And she said, all you do is let the fire, kind of wheedle down, and then you'll get the stalk. And she had made whatever was here on site. We had the blue corn mush, or the blue cornmeal that came organic, and she sprinkled a little bit of that in there with the ikaz and also honey. She just drizzled honey on that, and she crushed up some pistachios that we had on site, and she just lightly roasted it, and that's the bowl on the bottom to the left, and that was really good. And to the right, she had acorn the acorn powder, and she made like a soup with it. But she kind of chopped them up like into thick pieces, and she shared that with, gosh, like probably 40 people. And when you do it, you only get like a little spoonful, right, of it. But I was grateful that we again can have space like Juan shared with you guys. NDC, we see this as sharing space for people to share their platform, like Twyla or with 4-H with Juan. Having that educational background in whatever space you want to hold, whether it's cooking or 4-H or gardening, whatever, we're open to team up and collaborate within the community. We see that's a very much need out here. Yeah. All right, collaborating.
So developing collaborations that strengthen our youth, education and mentorship. So this is on that graph we saw earlier, this is really like where we want to go as an organization. We want to collaborate with different groups on the reservation and even, further out. And these are some of the collaborations we've built already. Of course, Juan and U of A, the Schoolhouse Cooperative, San Carlos Healthcare Corporation, the San Carlos United School District. And these are just a few, but these groups can use our garden and our chickens and our space to help educate the youth. And, we feel like that, earlier, the creativity and connectedness, instead of doing things kind of in silos on our own, we can work together and we'll make more of an impact if we do work together. So it's slowly happening, and it's a beautiful thing to see when we all come together and work, and it's really for the youth. And here we have Juan again. He's really integral in everything that we do. This was with the hospital. We were planting seeds that day, and the hospital came out and brought volunteers with their case management group. So they were there. This was with the schoolhouse at the bottom. And I believe like 4-H students as well, learning about the chickens. Juan was there teaching. And then, again, with the hospital and the schoolhouse. So, I feel like this is just the start of some greater events and programs we can have at NDC through creativity and connectedness. Again, some more collaborations and more education being done here and more students being impacted. So yeah, this is our plants. They're watering our plants that we just planted. We got those from the Gila Watershed Partnership in Safford, and they have a huge greenhouse, all native indigenous plants to this area. So we're trying to make even the plants we grow as decorative to be educational. Our indoor greenhouse on the bottom left that Juan helped us set up. The kids packaging, cleaning eggs, and I believe they went to sell the eggs today too, or that day too. And yeah, bottom right, Carrie and I, we were teaching that day about the eggs. Everything we learned, we're teaching back to the kids. So in summary, what we do is we reach people holistically, mind, body, soul, and spirit. We provide rehabilitation through opportunities to engage in life-transforming work filled with purpose. And we build healthy relationships and communities through creativity and connectedness. So, you kind of saw a lot of what we do, and we do a lot, but in the heart of it all is this, kind of purpose and meaning to transform people and to change people's lives, through the work. And, being in the garden is very healing. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so thank you. Here's some of our contact information, our website. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. Reach out to us at any time. We're available for site visits. And, if you need anything from us, yeah, feel free to reach out.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Carrie and Juan. At this time, we can open it up for questions. Feel free to put something in the chat. You can also, I think, find a little raise your hand, and we're kind of a small group here, so I can allow you to talk. We can ask questions. And one thing that came up was, as Curtis asked, is it open to the public? I'd love to come and see it. So a little bit about your hours and how to get there.
Sure. Sure, yeah, we're not like a full-time operation where we have visitors all day long. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best for us between 8 and 2. That's when most of our staff are here. And, we're a small team and we're mainly volunteer based. So it's difficult to be open, the regular 40 hours and 8 hours a day. But email us, reach out to us, find us on social media. We can work out a specific time for you to come visit. And we love visitors. We love to show you around. And, we could always find ways for you to get involved as well.
Yeah, I would also
As we go,
suggest, just like you're saying, you could get in touch with the Facebook and NDC or Nalwoodi as we had it spelled, Instagram, and they have several events. So when there's an event, that's the best time to come. Sorry, okay. Well, I got a few questions then. I'll let people a chance to get some questions in. You're really doing some great stuff out there, and just seeing how it's grown over the past several years, because I've been out there when it was just the tree farm, and then it wasn't getting irrigated. So it's just really a transformation. And so, Carrie, would you just share one of your impact stories? It can be like something for the community or even just for an individual where, this has made a difference in somebody's life, that you've just off the top of your head, just like, wow, this was something that just really touched you.
Yeah, there's a lot. Just yesterday, we given out to the youth home, and we had baby food and formula cases on site from the food donations held at Bryce's house in the Little here. And this has been something on my mind, to kind of give. And so Josiah and I took it upon ourselves to go out there and load up some more stuff. And the lady, opened the back door, and she was like, oh, and I said, hey, we have donations for the youth home. And there she was with a newborn baby in her arms. And she opened the door and she's like, oh, I just needed formula. Like, my coworker left to get a couple cases of, some formula, but this really helps out. You guys are gonna give this to us? And I was like, yeah, diapers, baby food, soft baby food. So to see her, holding a child and having that love, right, that care for individual that's not hers, kind of how we treat NDC like that is just following, our heart to be like, oh, maybe the youth home needs something, and listening to that and understanding that, that she opened her door is the thankfuls, the smiles to the community when we go out and give stuff, especially growing our traditional produce. That's what keeps us going daily here. It could be tiring, you can get burnt out sometimes. Like Eric had said, Juan, myself, and Eric, we wear many hats. Juan wears a lot more hats than us, but it's not a competition, but it's just amazing how we take it upon ourselves to just, find that need. If you not so selfish on yourself, understand that there's a need in the community, and that you can help in any way. And us as NDC trying to, make an impact on the community for that, to show people that there's so much more than just yourself, but to continue to give and making that impact in the community and having that support now is amazing. Yeah.
So NDC is a 501c3. It's a nonprofit, and I know you accept donations. So how would a person go about that? Well, like, wow, I've just been touched by what I saw today. How do we make a donation?
Probably the easiest way is on our website. It's apachendc.org/donate. And it's all secure and through our donation system. So yeah, that would be the best way, or just reach out to us directly, and we can provide like our PayPal info, or whatever is the easiest for you. We could give you our PO box if you prefer to mail a check, and some people do. So yeah, but most of the time people do it through our website.
All right, just want to make sure that we shared that. I'm going to go ahead and close that bring us up here and continue with some questions. We still got about 10 minutes before noon here, so go ahead and ask some questions here. I got more questions also, so hold on here. So we have Nancy asking, where do you have a need for volunteers to come and help with?
Garden, chickens, anything, daily operations, daily chores, they rack up. Food boxes. I know we have, like, on the website, we have a volunteer page where you could be more specific as yourself as an individual of where you want to help out in, where you find yourself, finding more interest in. But yeah, we could always use the help out here, especially with the kids. Kids make everything faster. I know last year, I've done some summer camps with Juan where we have like 60 kids, even more so, and we cut them in half, and it makes everything go a lot faster.
Wow. So sometimes kids take a lot of supervising, but to know that it actually speeds it up, that's a good thing. They're workers.
Yeah, especially when it comes to planting, or even just like when Eric brings out his daughters, go check on the eggs. They're good. It makes your work day a little bit more smoother. So yeah.
So Vaughn, I got a question for you. I am really impressed that you're getting involved with the seed saving of the traditional heritage species and working with native seeds. I'm familiar with their program out in Patagonia and just really respect everything they do there. So you're working with pollinator plants like corn or squash, and you got to be careful to make sure that they stay true to form. And so what are some of the techniques that you're using for your seed saving?
So this year, I've been working with NDC that we made sure that not to plant different times for the Apache red corn. We only planted one corn. So that was Apache red corn this year. Last year we did blue corn. So I was really strict on them. Today we're planting Apache red corn because we want to save seeds. No other corn should be planted here. So throughout the whole NDC plot, the 2 plots that we have, it's all Apache red corn. Same thing for the sunflowers. We only planted the Apache sunflower seeds. And for Apache giant too, we planted away from other squash. We didn't plant squash between the giant far enough where they cannot cross. So that's something we've been doing. So the one we usually wear the most is the Apache red corn because it's wind pollinated. So that's why we were really strict to make sure that was the only corn we're planted this year. And hopefully there's a lot. They're coming out. They're about 5-6 feet tall now. We're hoping that eventually we'll be able to save sun and preserve them and share with the community.
No, that's really great. Excited to hear that. Some more questions coming up here. As Curtis asks again, the plants that you are growing would be best adapted for, well, would they be best or well adapted for show low Vernon area 2, or not so much because of higher elevation? Does White Mountain Apache tribe have anything similar going on?
From my understanding, I know that White Mountain Apache tribe has a Fort Apache organization where they've been doing a lot of gardening activities up there, and they do plant the white Apache corn up there, and it's been really successful. It's just the timing is different. They'll plant a little bit earlier than us, and I know that same corn does really well here in San Carlos. So some of these plants do well over there. It's just the time that you're planted, you have to coordinate. If it gets the frost, if it's coming earlier, you have to plan ahead of time compared to San Carlos. We're a little bit lower. You guys are a little bit higher in White Mountain. So yeah, some of these plants do really well. I just have to plant it a little bit earlier.
Right.
And the People Farm is up there as well, right? Yeah, so they're a really cool organization that does farming. And they have a cool event, yearly event, a harvest festival. So if you don't know about that, check that out too.
You guys see the weather, right? This weather is strange, drought, hot, cold. So I know they do a lot of the hoop houses there at the People's Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Juan mentioned, they have a lot more frost there to get snow. So they do a lot of the greenhouse, hoop houses there on site for the People's Farm.
Okay, we still have some time for a few more questions. Oh, I think one just popped up here perhaps. Oh, okay, so as Curtis is asking, which harvest festival Okay, so the video, the audio kind of broke up. So one more time about that harvest festival with White Mountain.
Yeah, it's a yearly event. I don't know all the details of it, but it's around the fall time. They call it the Harvest Festival. I think they do that. Carrie was telling me about the corn. They roast the corn in the ground there.
Yeah, they do a big pit. It's yearly. Last year they had it virtual, right? Because we all know the pandemic, but yeah, they have different vendors come out. They have a local chef who's trying to open up Denzhone Cafe out there in White River, Levi Craig, and he's amazing chef. And he does a pit in the ground, and he has all his acorn, his corn, onions, potatoes. He has everything that's grown in the garden. And he gets the ishi, the salt from the mountains, and sprinkles it in there. And at the next day when the people come, he takes all that dirt and rebuilds it, and the aroma of earth and all the vegetables. And man, he shares that with the community. It's very powerful and very culture, the Apache culture. They have the stock, what is it called? The corn, the husk, the husk of the corn. They have an elderly lady who makes dolls out of that for the youth. So if they have it this year, I say you guys take a look. People's Farm on Facebook. They're really cool. We're hoping to collaborate with them this year too.
I see Juan put the website into the chat. So if you go to the White Mountain Nature Center, I think you should get that information. And she's clarifying Taylor Sweet Corn Festival, or is it in White River? This is probably the White River event you're talking about, I suspect. And another question from Alicia. What are some of the challenges that you face with the crops, such as weather, wind and drought? And also, do you have infestation issues with bugs or diseases? And how do you address these concerns? So that sounds like a Juan question.
One of the major issues we have at the NDC site is mostly weeds. Not a lot of infestation because we've been rotating the crops, so we kind of switch it off throughout the years. There are some insects, but not to the amount that we can handle. We just mechanically remove them. We don't use any pesticides or any of that, all natural. The hardest thing for us is just the weeds. They just flourish in the drought, and as soon as we start watering a certain area, they just coming out. And we have to know what's a weed and what's not, and what we can keep and how to control them. And that's the hardest part for our site.
Yeah, the center is pretty isolated. They're along a wash outside of San Carlos, and so there's a lot of open space around it. So I think that also helps with some of the disease issues, and they're probably careful not to bring diseases in. So using good seed crop, using good local materials kind of helps with that. So yeah, but the weed bed, the seed bed of all those weeds is just going to take a long time to get under control. But I bet you year from year, it's getting better. No, lots of weeds.
There's still a while.
Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed my time with you all today. We're getting close to noon here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up my closing slides. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today and sharing about the Nalwoodi Denzhone Community Center. I hope we can share this and get more people active with the project. And congratulations also to Bryce for getting this all set up. Just all of you are my good friends. Okay, so we have just had our question and answer discussion with Juan and Eric and Carrie. And I'm going to be back next week. You're all welcome to come too. Next Thursday, I've got Dr. Monica Ramirez Andriota. She's a professor at the University of Arizona, which we recognize as located on the traditional homelands of the Tohono O'odham and Pasquayaqui people. And the topic is Project Harvest, Summary and Major Findings Concerning Harvested Rainwater Quality. And so Monica has been involved with a rainwater harvesting project, community citizen scientist participation, and people gathered rainwater from their roofs. At the university did all of the research on the contaminations. They tested all the waters, and this is going to be sharing those findings and what types of contaminants or not contaminants that were concerned. So please join us for that. Before we go, I want to also put, where is it here? I'm going to put that evaluation down one more time before you guys take off. It only takes about a minute for you to fill out for me. So come on, go. There you go. If you'd open that up and fill that out for me before you guys take off, really appreciate getting that feedback. It gives me some guidance on how to run the program. So with that, everybody have a great day and see you next week.